in the lore, there were different people that suggested different things. There was a guy whose, credentials are super iffy, but his name was Bob Lazar, and he
Yeah.
may have worked for 6 months at one of these places as like a janitor or something. But he like was talking a lot about, oh well, these aliens are time travelers from the future and the experiments on them show that their innards are like they went down an evolutionary track where their gut stopped working and they're rubbing food and hormones on their skin to absorb them, to absorb nutrients and hormones. And it's a very interesting idea. There's like some Lovecraftian kind of aspects to this kind of alien horror stuff. But I think that there's an aspect of this that's very interesting because at least with time travelers, you're talking about beings that are here. And in other words, like if we're going to apply Occam's razor, it's a bit inelegant since all we've ever, or not we, not me, not you, I don't know you, but not me, but since in the record people just report these things appearing in the sky or appearing on the horizon, and sometimes they just emanate or manifest from nothingness and just kind of materialize. That if they're materializing, moving about, and then dematerializing, why are we inserting this extra narrative that they come from another place that's like a planet that's like round, like a sphere, like ours, that's up in this place called space, blah, blah, blah. Like, why are we adding this narrative? It's like because we've been conditioned, we've been thinking this way for like 100, by now, like 110 years, that there are other planets that we can go to, and maybe there's people that live on those planets. Since our planet has people, then maybe there's other planets that have people. So then maybe those people, in the same way that we go through mechanical, like biological, and then scientific evolution or social evolution, maybe they're more evolved and then they're coming here to visit us, or because they're curious, or because they want to stop us from inventing nuclear weapons or from killing our people. Have lots of fucking narratives built into this. So many new age, turn of the last century narratives, like from 1999 to 2001, like, oh, the aliens are going to come now. And then you had like 2012, and you had like the Y2K bug, and aliens are going to come. You had 2012, and then you had, stuff with the last couple of elections. You always get weird news stories about like this meteor has a 2% chance of crashing into the earth, or, oh, these people that are former Air Force colonels, or these people of intelligence are saying definitely that we have definitely these things are real. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying like it's obviously, if you're on the outside of a society looking in, if you're wrapped up in a society, things feel kind of organic. The oppositions, the differences seem kind of natural. If you're like outside of a society, like looking in, like if you can see the forest from the trees, there's differences. Like, okay, so from the outside looking in, things are always different. So likewise, in our own society, we have these like false ideas about difference and separation, and that things seem more organic and less planned. But doesn't mean everything is planned. I'm not suggesting that at all, but things are just more planned or more coordinated than we often might otherwise think. So Valley is super interesting, and he kind of explodes people's minds with this. And then he gets there's a lot of disparaging ideas surrounding him, because the whole occult and UFO field is like flooded with a lot of different ideas, agendas, secret societies, and he writes about different agendas, and he writes about the interaction of this other, like non-human sentient agenda, and then how human agendas interact with that. He talks about the possibility of this non-human or other than human sentience interacting with the problem he poses of the possibility of that interacting with humanity in history, and maybe even being the source of certain mystery religions and so forth. You kind of get into this arena of like Eric Van Daniken and Chariots of the Gods. You kind of get into this Zecharia Sitchin arena. So it's super interesting, like how these come together, I'm not really interested in passing judgment. I'm interested like in exploring the question and like pulling out like an understanding of the world that I live in.